So look, the other night somebody asked me, they said, hey, Tony, what makes your 401k plan good? And I said, that is a great question. So I thought we should talk about it. I decided to put together a list of the top 4 things that I would consider that would help make a 401k plan good. So just to give you some background and insight into why this matters to me is I've spent the last 17 years designing corporate retirement plans and providing education to employees of companies to help them get the most out of their corporate 401k plans. And I just recently wrote a book called the 2-Hour 401k Maximizer. And the book is designed to help people optimize their 401ks, to learn how to get the most out of their 401ks. Over the last 17 years, I've received a lot of questions from people about how to get the most out of their 401k plan. So I've distilled that down into a book that I believe anybody can go through in 2 hours and really be able to turn up the dial on their 401k plan so they can start to optimize it for the current version of themselves and the future version of themselves and save themselves a lot of headache and time. So instead of spending 6 weeks to learn how to get the most out of your 401k plan, you can do it in 2 hours. So I'm excited about that. So I've created a checklist of 4 things that I think would be really helpful in making a 401k plan good. Let's find out if your 401k plan is good or if we could make some changes to it to make it better. Let's go. Number 1. One thing that makes a 401k plan good is a 401k plan that people participate in. Now, if nobody understands a 401k plan and they're not sure how it works, then nobody's going to save into it. So one thing that makes a 401k plan good is a 401k plan that people understand so that they can contribute their own money. Maybe it's pretax, maybe it's Roth, but they get to automatically save money into the 401k, which means they're automatically investing, which means they're acquiring companies every single paycheck. And as those companies grow, so does the value of your contribution. And I think that's really, really powerful. So I would say the first thing to consider of what makes a 401k plan good is a 401k plan that people actually participate in and take full advantage of, because it's a powerful way to start building wealth. And I wouldn't want anyone to miss that opportunity. Number 2, if a 401k plan has pretax and Roth options, I think that is really cool because not every 401k plan offers both pretax and Roth. Now, every retirement plan that I've ever seen has pretax, but not everyone has Roth. Now, the difference is pretax allows you to reduce your taxable income based on how much you save into your 401k plan. So, for example, if you made $100,000 this year and you saved $10,000 into your 401k plan, that would reduce your taxable income to then $90,000 for the year. So it would move you down to $90,000. That's what you would be taxed at for the year versus a Roth. And the thinking is you get a tax break now, but you pay taxes later when you're in a lower income tax bracket. Now, Roth is the opposite. Roth has you pay taxes today, but you never pay taxes on it again. No matter how much your account grows over time, you never pay taxes on it again. So that is really, really powerful. Now, when you consider the fact that when you receive an employer match, that's pre-tax. When you receive an employer profit share, that is pre-tax. So if you're saving pre-tax as well, then all of that is pre-tax money. The only feature that would be available in that scenario to have after-tax money would be the Roth portion. So if you wanted to diversify your tax position in retirement, well, now you've given yourself some options. Or if you're in your younger working years and you want to take full advantage of saving into Roth because your income is a little bit lower than maybe what it will be later. Or if you believe tax rates are only going to go up over time, well, maybe that's another reason to consider investing into Roth. Now, when you have pre-tax or Roth in your 401k plan, you don't have to pick one or the other. You can save into both and give yourself some options. Now, not every 401k plan offers the Roth as a savings option, but if yours does, then maybe consider what that would look like for you to save money into Roth. Now, absolutely tap in with an investment advisor if you're just not sure of what that would look like in your own financial situation. But I think it's a great feature that not every 401k plan has. But if you do, I think that's another bonus as to what would help make your 401k plan good. Number 3, low-cost investment options. Now, when you save into your 401k plan, you're going to have a couple different investment options. At least that's the hope. You're going to have low-cost or active. Maybe I should say that a little bit differently. You're going to have index funds versus actively managed funds. So index funds are funds that are designed to perform at a benchmark. Think they're trying to perform at the average. They're not trying to beat the market, and because they're not actively managing that money, and it's a portfolio that's trying to maintain the average, well, the fees, the expenses that are tied to those investments are going to be a lot less. a lot less than someone over here who's trying to actively beat the market. They're trying to outperform the market. Now, here's the hard part. Yes, some of these portfolios can outperform the market. However, the question is, can they consistently outperform the market? Because they're going to charge you a lot more. If you're going to charge me a lot more, I want you to consistently outperform the market to be able to justify the fee that I'm paying you, because the difference could be 10 times more for this investment versus here. Well, if I can still get a strong return over here and the fees are going to be 10 times less, then maybe it makes sense for me to have more money here. Now, this is your call. You get to do whatever you want to do. It's your money. But something that's really important to me is I want people to have access to the low-cost index funds, the passively managed funds. I just don't believe that we should pay 10 times more for an actively managed fund when they can only beat the market, 30% of the time? Now, you can quote me on, you can check me on this, but from what I've seen, most fund managers aren't able to consistently beat the benchmark, but they will consistently charge you for the right to try to beat the benchmark. Now, you get to do your own research, but that's something that's important to me. I want low-cost investment options at least available in the retirement plan to make it a good plan. Now, number 4, and I think this, for me, is really the number 1 answer as to what would make a retirement plan good, and it comes down to education. If there's no education, if people don't understand what the 401k plan is supposed to represent in their big picture, as they plan their finances, as they set goals and they vision cast about, hey, what do I want to accomplish, and how do I invest my money, and where do I invest my money? Do I want to invest in my 401k plan? Do I want to set up an IRA? Do I want to have brokerage accounts? Do I want to invest in real estate? Do I want to buy a business? Where does this fit? Well, for me, because 401k plans are so easy, if you have access to a 401k plan, because they're so easy to start saving and investing and building momentum, I think that is so powerful, and I don't want people to miss it. When you think about the fact that you're automatically saving your 401k plan, and then maybe you have access to employer match, and then maybe you have access to great investment options in your retirement plan, well, that is powerful. Remember, when you're investing in your 401k plan, you put your initial contribution in. And then let's say your employer offers a match. And then let's say you get investment return plus an investment return. Now that creates momentum, and that money is going to grow without you. And isn't that part of the goal of investing in the first place, is to put your money in a position to grow? Well, that's what a 401k plan does. And they do it in a way that makes it really easy for anybody to get started and start building wealth, turning up the dial on building wealth. So for me, without education and some context, then most of the stuff doesn't really matter. So I would say number 1 could be education. But for here, I have it listed as number 4. What would you add to the list? What makes your 401k plan good? Or what could make your 401k plan any better? I'd love to hear from you.